Bosnia and Herzegovina. Well, it's way bigger than we saw with Montenegro, so yeah, it's gonna be a different story here. 3.1 million people, so oof, quite a lot. Not that much coastline, I would say, just a little bit here, and that's it. So yeah, let's start there. Let's start in this small coastline. Let's see. This one right on the beach. It doesn't seem to be like very well developed, which is kind of weird because they don't have that much coastline. And yeah, yeah, water is nice. At least in that one, they have some sort of a farm fish. I'm not sure exactly what's happening there, but at least they have something. I mean, very small coastline, but probably they're gonna get back on the inland beauty. What are those? Oh, it's a stick. Yeah, so far, wow, that's a nice jet ski there. Pretty good. Nice housing on the short line in this case. It is something. This is from 2024, so very recently. Judging by the cars, there are a few expensive one each and there. Looking pretty good. The coastline, even though extremely small, probably a house here is gonna be way overpriced. But yeah, yeah, very jamming together. Look at those cars. Wow, so expensive. I guess they're doing very well economically there, or at least they're using the jumpstart economy technique when they go outside the country to work in countries that pays better, and they came with the money here and spend it here. Whoa, what the fuck is this? It's the German car parking lot, for God's sake. Yeah, feels like a lot of hotels and resorts, stuff like that happening there. I mean, the coastline is nice, very European, very classy, I would say, but in the same time, um, very small, as you can see it. Yeah, but it's nice. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how well you're gonna book a vacation here. Probably again, it's gonna be not so cheap. But housing here, how people live. Well, the roads are pretty decent. Housing, a big on the big side, let's call it like that, and the land very small, which it's a really bad combination in my opinion. I mean, that's a huge house. That's a lot of stairs here. Just don't want to go home and walk that much on the stairs. That's a really nice BMW. That's an expensive garage, by the way, only with bricks. Oh yeah, overall it's pretty good, pretty good. But again, the fact that judging even from the above, the land it's very small and the house very big, not exactly doing any good. Let's say like that. Let's check the roads here. Let's see how well they done. This one is typically Southern European. I would say it's nice. I like it. Not so bad. It's a weird shape of the country because they don't have that much coastline, so we have to search, let's say, for those small communities. Which is not bad. I mean, the road's still pretty good. They have some sort of a restaurant here on the road, and probably the family that runs this one. It's a family business, most likely. It's in the middle of nowhere, as you can see, which is pretty interesting. Let's put it that way. They have a village here, a small town, which is kind of a border town. Oh, let's see this one. Which one is which, I guess? But the housing, ooh, very expensive. I mean, financially, here they're doing pretty well. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing here to afford houses like this, but ooh, this is not what I expected, for God's sake. No. How? How is possible? I mean, like every house, some of them are really big, but they're looking pretty good. They looking pretty good. And this one, let's check this one too. Yeah, this one is a bit unfinished. This is from 2024, so very recently. Again, the obsession with huge houses and small lands. which is weird, I would say. But yeah, in the same time, let me check again the border. Yeah, right on the border. And this one just go to someone else's house. And this one is gonna be a rich neighborhood, 100%. Yeah, very close, very close. Can we have one? Oh yeah, we have a street view here. I mean, yeah. This guy go with the street view right in this guy garage. Okay. Uh, yeah, he's looking. What are you doing here? It's my house. It's a private property, buddy. What are you doing there? Expensive, really expensive BMWs. Nice pools. Look at this. They have a cleaning pool. Like that guy is just cleaning there. This one has a TV. She's kind of tacky, but okay. This is really expensive neighborhood. I mean, there's pretty much no privacy, as you can see here. No green, no stuff like that. But it looks pretty good. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly how much it's gonna be to buy a house here. I assuming very expensive. I have to look at some of those real estate, international real estate sites. I am really interested, but probably like millions and millions and euros on a house here. It looks really expensive to build one. It looks really expensive to have one. What the fuck? They didn't have a fence here. It's just this wire here. Okay. I mean, it's really nice, I have to say. And that's how everyone should live. A house like this should be worth like a year's salary with a bigger land. That should be the real price of the housing and something like that, not something fucked up. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world yet. So we have to wait a bit more for that. But ooh-wee, that was a nice housing there. It does look, and it's so remote. It's like it's nothing there. There's small village there, and that's it. Why they choose this location to develop like that, and clearly they're doing even more. It's a mystery to me, but they have a decent bigger town here. So you can imagine when you're gonna have like drone delivery and groceries and that, you don't even depend on having like a Lidl next to you or something like that. Or a pharmacy. You don't need a pharmacy, you don't need a Lidl, a supermarket. You just order it on your phone and they drop in like in less than an hour. That would be like really, really good. And in the same time, even with the hospitals, we like have like online doctors for the most of the issues that you're gonna have, and they just send you the medicine by the drone, and that's it. Like I said, it's gonna really unlock a lot of land. Let's call it. They unlock a lot of land. Let's call it like that. Now, hopefully, the materials buildings and the legislation is gonna be very friendly, let's say, with new construction, with buildings, so we can actually have those houses like those people. Not those ones. Those are really old ones. It should be demolished. It's just not worth it even improve it. And also cars really, really cheap. I mean, that's a really interesting life to live for. We're gonna see how well they're gonna do in that department. Yeah, pretty big country here. It's not that small. Which, yeah, it's not gonna be easy to maintain huge countries with huge population at the same time. Here it's around 2000 meter elevation, and this guy playing with his drone. Clearly rich people here. Yeah, nice mountains. They're doing well in the landscape department. Yeah, but those houses there, they're really kind of living the dream there. Kind of stick with me. Yeah, in the mountains area it's nice. And even those cars that they have there, how can you afford? I mean, like, you think of those countries, things like war and poverty, and nothing's working there, high corruption, and you look at those and you see it kind of a different picture there. It does look pretty good. And those guys with BMWs worth, I don't know, 15,000 euros, maybe more. Nice houses, pools, and all that stuff. I mean, it feels like we are missing the life, not them. So I guess it's true what they say. It's better to be rich in a poor country than be medium, let's say, in a wealthy country. Even though the net worth is gonna be pretty much the same with the guy in a poor country, rich in a poor country. Yeah. It does look pretty good. The roads are impeccable so far. How they managed to develop that fast, that well in the same time, without being part of the European Union, let's say. Clearly there is life after European Union. Oh, some bars on the windows here, I don't like that, but it's the only one that have it, so I guess like some sort of a fashion choice. I'm not sure. Wow, that's a interesting neighborhood here. If you play football here and you lose the ball, yeah, good luck with that. You have to walk like 2-3 kilometers to find your ball. So not exactly a well thought design for playing with a ball outside. I see some apartment buildings in a background, which, oof, you already know my opinion about those. No matter how nice they make it, I don't care. Look at this. This is actually horrible, but fine. This is 2025. Okay, very recently they have this street view here. Cards pretty good. Pretty good, not so bad. I mean, yeah, these apartment buildings, just, no, just, no thank you. I don't want to live there. It looks fucked up. And these neighborhoods, yeah, let's see this one on the hills. Although they are kind of jamming everyone together, it's still much better. It's still better. And some of the houses also interesting, at least. Yeah, the road's not exactly in a great condition, but it's decent. Look at it. They have big yards, these guys. Some of them they're doing pretty well. It's a huge house. Nobody needs a house that big unless you have like 10 people living in there. Which it's already bad if you live 10 people in one house. Yeah, here they need some brand new pavements. Probably they're gonna have, it's much harder to find rich areas in European countries because you're gonna have much more green. Poor ones, not so much, but even poor ones here, they have a lot of green in the neighborhood, so it's not like we see it in African countries, for example. Yeah, here it's looking pretty well. Those houses, not so much, but the other ones that were at least decent maintained, looking pretty well. Cars here, very expensive. We have Porsches, we have Mercedes, we have a Volvo. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know already you're gonna find rich people everywhere you go, but here it seems like a lot of people actually doing. Maybe I'm honest. Maybe I'm the only one left outside. It's just, it seems like nothing working for me, but for most of the population, they're doing pretty well. She's kind of strange. Some bars on the windows, I have to say it when I see it, just the way it is. Wow, that's really small alleys. Like really small. Yeah, I mean this one, and not that cozy either, so not exactly a great place there to live, I would say. What else can we find here? A bit more land, I guess. Yeah, a bit more land here. This is from 2024, very recently. I guess they laid some pipe here, and that's why we have this unfinished, let's say, road. Overall, they seems to do pretty well. Not everybody, but they're doing better than I do, so good for them. What else we can see? I mean, like, it's pretty good, I have to say. When you imagine those countries, like, oof, poverty, like I said, and anything doesn't work here, but clearly it's not the case. They're doing pretty well. I am curious in the corruption sector, how they're doing, but yeah, probably remembering the map. I didn't see any blue spot on the map, so I'm assuming, yeah, not so great. But some people, it feels like they're gonna have these transitions moving to the countryside, as we can see with these nice new buildings that they built. So it might even started here before it started in European countries, the European Union countries. So yeah, maybe again once ahead of us, they just realize that hey, life in a city, it's not that great. Yeah, the only reason you go in a city is to probably have a better job or a job. Right now, we don't even have a job in a city. But They might be even, like I say, they most likely they figured it out before the West. And just see it like, yeah, in the city, not so great of the life. Here again, they have some issues with the new construction, how they build, but that's more like on the taste, I would say, not on the urban code, because they seem to have a pretty decent lands. Yeah. The good news is if you have the land, you can rebuild the house from scratch, so that's pretty good. This is probably one of those poor areas. And even poor as they are, I mean, look at this fence, natural fence, really nice, nice gardens. Yeah, housing not so well. That's the only thing that kind of let these parts down. But some of them, they really have really nice vision how it's supposed to look, which is pretty good. That's worth a lot. Can you imagine just demolish these fences and just put like the green one like that guy have? That's a really good start to improve your property right there. I have a quarry here. I'm not sure if it's working anymore. Yeah, huge cities, like I say, big cities, just a no-no. No matter how much you try to make them look nice, by now you can't. They hit your home with their woods, which is not exactly a great idea. Judging by the house. Again, when we're gonna have like those highly efficient heat pumps that you can pretty much install it yourself, for 1,000 euros, and they consume like 90% less than they use now, some crazy numbers. Yeah, you're not gonna see anyone using wood anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. They're doing pretty well here. They're doing pretty well, I have to say. Look at this house. I mean, this is clearly a problem with the building code. You can't build that high when the neighbors around you are way lower than you. That's a building code issue. It's a state issue, not a local city issue. But anything else, it's pretty good, I have to say. They pull up themselves pretty nicely. Yeah, they're doing pretty well, I have to say. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're doing pretty well. I mean, the lots of green. It's nice. I mean, this fence, it's absolutely unnecessary in my opinion. Look how much concrete they eat to put this fence. It's not worth it in my opinion. A green one would be like 10 times better. Some of them, they have unfinished houses and way too big. But some of them a bit more modest. I mean, look at this fence. See, that's a really nice fence to have. Yeah, pretty decent so far. Yeah, they seems to understand a few things that here in the West, in the European Union, we don't even start to question it anymore anytime soon. So, like I say, those countries that there is a like no, I don't remember who said it, but it's like an right and law that says when your country got to so much poverty, war, disaster, chaos, they will bounce back as fast as they fall in that chaos. But in the same time, it feels again like even for those longer countries that take to, let's say, industrialize, improve, their downfall also is going to be equal with the time that they need to industrialize. So I can imagine the falling time being the same. So you can imagine the west of the Europe like a really slow and painful declining. I mean, it's not going to be like a decline from 100 to 0 in 10 years. It's going to be like over the 100 years, something that's going to make it even more painful to, to live there. So it's kind of a strange feeling, I would say. Which one is better? Completely collapses in a few months, a year, or slowly agonizing death? I don't know. I mean, I would choose the past disaster ones, but it's interesting to see because those countries, as we can see here, that we have a bad opinion about. I have to say, didn't have that much hopes up for these countries in the ex-Yugoslavian countries. But seems like they're doing better than us, for God's sake, and I'm struggling to understand why. And probably because the lies of the European Union that says we're living better than anyone else, and in the same time you have a huge amount of taxes and a huge amount of bureaucracy. If you want to build a house here, good luck with that. It's just they allow those nonsense huge apartment buildings to be built, but individual houses in a city not even close. Just bail out. Bail out right now is that you're gonna wait years for the improvements, years and money badly spent, I would say. So yeah, it's in a way they are more democratic. I would say if they have low corruption in these countries, that we kind of diminish them because clearly things are moving much faster there. Like I say, in the West, we're gonna have so much bureaucracy, then it just nothing gets built anymore. And when it gets built, it's like 10 times more expensive than it's supposed to be, and they end up not building that well in the first place because they wanna slowly spend some money. So build a road right now, in 5 years you have to repave the road because it was so poorly made. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how's the situation here, but so far it seems to do pretty decent. Like I say, I have such a low expectation when I came to this one to make those videos, but I was like, I'm gonna make it anyway, so see how things are going there. But now even in this Bosnia, they seems to do better than the rest of the European Union, for God's sake. At least for those new countries that enter. They genuinely looks better. I mean, it's not perfect. I'm not gonna say, yeah, it looks better than Switzerland or Austria or something like that, but they are looking much better than those Eastern European countries that entered the European Union. Way, way better. Yeah, I guess it is what it is. So that's why I still raise the question, if you realize so much by yourself by now, do you really need the European Union to be part of it, or just have some agreements with them and that's it, treat them like any other country? Okay, European Union is not a country, it's more like a clan right now. More like a cartel behaves, but yeah. Not sure exactly if you. I mean, it looks pretty nice already. I don't think you really need it. I mean, like, yeah, you have trade with them. Nobody's against that, and you can take the good things that they've done there. But anything else? I mean, give up your independence for what? Doesn't seem to be a good trade. But yeah, I think we see enough. I mean, like, you can watch hours and hours of those street views. They're all looking above average, I would say. So yeah, let's go with the numbers. Let's see how well they're doing in that department. But numbers again doesn't say that much when the real life says even more. So population 3.1 million people. I would say for a country like that should be under 1 million, but yeah, it is what it is. 1955, 3 million with 1.9% increase rate. That will be around 52,000 people. Migration minus 5,000, and median age 20 years old. Fertility rate 4.6, which is pretty high. Density back then 58 people per square kilometers. Urban population 16%. That'll be roughly around 500,000 to manage, which is probably pretty decent. By 2025, population grew again, but not that much. 3.1 million people. You can see they already start going down since, I would say the first time was like 1995 and then in 2005. So the peak of the population was around 4.4, 4.5 million people. And now they are down to 3.1. So pretty steep decline, I would say. So 3.1 million people with minus 0.76% decrease rate. That will be roughly around 25,000 people on minus. Migration minus 7,000. Median age 45, so twice as old. Fertility rate 1.5, and they got below replacement. Let me check that. Wow, in 1980s. That's something. And at some point it was 1.2, and they kind of don't bounce back that much since there. Density now 62, not that much people per square kilometers. Urban population grew tremendously, 56%, and now it's like 1.8 million to manage. Could be manageable. But watch this, by 2050, population is going to be around 2.4, 2.5 million people. I still think it's a bit too high for 2050. If they manage somehow to drag that down to under 2 million, It's gonna be a much different discussion how people are living there. So yeah, it's gonna be a huge improvement. Minus 1.1, 1.2%. That's pretty healthy, I would say. They just go beyond 1%, which is good. Minus around 30,000 people. Migration kind of slows down, which again, it's a good sign. Minus 3,500. If they drag that down to minus 1,000 by 2050, it's going to be even better. Again, this is forecast. Median age, it's 51 years old. Fertility 1.6. I guess they're going up a bit, but not sure exactly how much it's going to help that. Density is going to be 48 people per square kilometers. Urban area 80% with almost 2 million people to manage. So I guess the other half of the million is supposed to be outside the cities. But again, depends how you urban areas, and how you what's your definition for the urban areas. Life expectancy here is again very high. It's 78 years old for both sexes. Females 81 and males 75. Huge numbers. Infant mortality rate 4.7 and death at the age of 5.2. A bit higher, but again, it's pretty good, and they go down those numbers, so good for them. Yeah, if you're looking for a pyramid that's have a narrow base, I don't think I see a narrow one. It's this one, and they have a huge, not a huge, but a pretty significant male surplus population. And then by the age of 50, I would say they go in a female one a bit, and then by the age of 60, they go in full female surplus population. Yeah, you can see a very narrow based, which again, it's good. We have to go with population down. Yeah, probably gonna rely a lot on AI to make a lot of tasks for the old people. That's not gonna keep busy the young ones, but population has to go down at some point, and it feels like this right now is the point. So that's a good thing. It's not gonna be easy, but it's gonna be a good thing. Probably this year, since the war started, and you can see a huge drop in population, and now they're trying to maintain that trend, which is not so bad for them. Good for them, I would say. Otherwise, they're doing pretty decent out there in the wild, let's say. What else can we see here? Well, watch this GDP. Let's say with the numbers in economic, 33 billion US dollars and 78 billion US dollars PPP. Clearly small economies, but they're doing pretty decent, I would say. But look at this growing rate. 2020 pandemic year minus 3%, then plus 7.4% because bounce back from the pandemic, then 4.3%, 1.8, 2.5, and 3% on plus. They are very small numbers for just a small economy. They should have like 10% increase in GDP with 3% decrease in population per year, and that is gonna make it really rich, and that's a huge amount. GDP per capita, it's 10,000 US dollars, and PPP around 23,000 US dollars. So not that much, but from what I see in the real life there on the Google Street, they they're doing very well. And again, probably they're working outside the country and make those money because they doing very well there. Some of them in that small village that we saw on the border, even though maybe a house like that is, I don't know, $100,000, 100,000 euros, house like that there. Otherwise, I don't think how can afford a really nice house like what they have there. Probably in Europe, a house like that there is gonna be above $1 million, easy above $1 million. But yeah, it's good for them. Good for them in this case. What else can we see? Oh, they have unemployment. Look at this, 11%, and youth unemployment 27%. Wow, that's pretty high, 11%. But yeah, not sure exactly how they're doing for jobs there. Export a lot of EU and import a lot from EU. So I guess pretty standard things here. Corruption here. Well, let's see corruption in Bosnia. Bosnia and Herzegovina 33 points and down 6 points. Wow, corruption is really high there. So, oof. Yeah, that's is gonna limit the options of moving out there, I would say, and starting a business. Yeah, they have to drag that number down, otherwise it's pretty bad. 51% Islam there. Wow, I didn't see that much Islam. Eastern Orthodox 30% and 15% Catholics. So I guess around almost 50-50 Catholics, 50-50 Christians and Islam. A bit less with the Christian, obviously. What else they have here? That's a nice. What is that? Ancient Rome. Okay, they have those two there. It's a nice port there. This bridge, always gonna see that everywhere we go. Some sort of Sarajevo assassinate. What is this? World War One. Yeah. Oh, nice to have a painting, I guess. But where is the shot? Oh, right here. I didn't see the guy with the gun. I guess. How was that? The most famous, I think, right turn in history or left turn? I think it was right turn in history. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it happened. It is what it is. Some sort of World War II disasters here. Yeah, probably the Bosnian War. Yeah, the Bosnian War. How many? From 1999 to 90? Wow, 4 years of war. That's pretty bad. Probably that's why they have that huge decline in population. But the land, I mean, look at this. The land, it's absolutely great. Ooh, I didn't see this waterfall, but looking great. Nice lakes. Small, small opening to the sea, but it is what it is. I guess they manage even that. They have, oh, the Hillary Clinton, the Democrats party here. So that's probably in the Biden administration. No, it's 2011. What is that? Obama administration, right? Okay, have weird buildings. Not a big fan of those. This one, I think it's a much nicer church. I mean, look at this. Way better with that bridge behind it. And this bridge also much, much nicer. Again, this church looking way better. Way better. It's the airport probably. Sarajevo International Airport. Fine, they have one of those too. I mean, they're looking pretty well so far. I really like it. And they have things that are... Is the food. Looking very, very nice. Yeah, on the paper, people doesn't seem to be that rich, but in the real life there, it looks better at least. I don't know, maybe I, again, go always randomly on the map. I'm not choosing the best one, not choosing the worst one. I'm sure I'll miss a lot of good things, but just going randomly on the map and things looking pretty well, it just shows that things are not that bad. I mean, look at this. Yeah, some people taste could be questioned in the in the housing department, but they are brand new houses that they live with decent decent cars that they drive. I mean, it is pretty good. It's way better than we see in African countries, for example, and way better than we expected. That's for sure. And not to imagine if you go back to that border towns right there with those guys that they living like in a paradise. I'm not sure exactly where they were. Oh, here. See, I already find it that easy. I mean, if you're living like these guys here, you are pretty good settled for life. I mean, it's kind of everyone's dreams. And in the West, you cannot have this in your lifetime. I don't care what you're doing for work. If you are a regular guy, forget about it. You will never have something like that ever again. Ever, ever. Forget about it. It's done for you before even started. So yeah, that's the sucky part, I guess. But here it seems like you might have an even better chance. Unfortunately, that high corruption kind of worries me a lot. Otherwise, they're doing very well. Yeah, it's extremely important to keep the cost pretty low. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If the cost usually increases much faster than your revenue, your income. So you're never gonna afford that. The longer the time it passes, you're never gonna afford houses like that. At least here in the West, it's the same. So yeah, that was Bosnia and Herzegovina. Pretty good looking, I have to say. Much more than I expected. So yeah, if you live there, leave a comment. But you're doing pretty well, I guess. So yeah, check out the videos that I make and see you next time.